What is good, everyone? Today I'm going to be giving a movement guide, just talk about different things that I found while playing Global Anarchy. Movement has helped me a lot. It probably doubles or triples the amount of kills I can get, and I'll probably be playing some gameplay in the background of me doing something while just like sliding around or something. But hopefully you can see that it allows you to stay alive longer and get more kills, and I'll go into more detail because it can do so much more than that. But first, before we get into those tips really quickly, I want to show you an example of the difference between using movement to your advantage versus not using it to your advantage. So if we look at this first guy, I mean, he's just running in a straight line, so he's incredibly easy to predict and aim. I don't even have to try. Same with these two guys. I mean, they're standing out in the open. They're not going anywhere, so I don't really have to put an effort to aim. But pay attention to this next guy. He's going to slide out, make it to the boxes, and slide again, try and make it to the door. And that was a really good try because he almost made it, and I think he would have if he just jumped, which is something we'll talk about in our first tip. But I just want to point out that I had to try way harder, as you can tell, to aim and try and kill him. So I kind of want to use that as a showcase just so you can see from your enemy's perspective how big of a difference is. I mean, that guy was so hard to see. The first movement tech I want to talk about is something called slide hopping. I call it that because that's pretty much what you're doing. Like, to give a step-by-step, I'd recommend starting in a straight line first. And you start by sliding, and then once you are about like 70% into your slide, not all the way, but also not too early, so I recommend like 70%, jump.
And then as you're falling, don't hold C or your crouch or slide button. Click it whenever you land. Because if you do it too early, you won't actually slide. If you press it while you're falling, you'll just crouch when you hit the ground. So once you hit the ground, like as you hit it, then you can slide again.
And then you can just do that over and over again. I think it's pretty easy to pick up, but whatever you want to call it, jump sliding, slide hopping, this is kind of like my default way of getting around the map, especially if I need to cover long distances or if I'm out in the open, because this is a fast way to move, so it's good for long distances, and it's also an unpredictable way to move for your enemies, so it's good for being out in the open. The problem with being out in the open is that the other option is just running in a straight line, and you're almost certainly going to die, so we do this to make it easier to survive when you're just like running out in the open. But outside of that, this also has uses in a ton of other ways, like even in like close range stuff. But we'll get more into how you can use it. Another thing I want to point out is that I also use slide hopping to get information. And you can see that in this clip that when I jump, I can see over like these crates and barriers that would normally block my vision. And what's crazy about this is that they can only see my head for a split second, and it's virtually impossible for them to see me, much less like react and kill me. But I just get free information without risking dying, and I can like see over. And if there's an enemy there, then I either am ready way before they are, or if they're in another direction than where I'm going and I see them, then I'll just change where I'm going so I can go catch them. So getting free information is super valuable, and that alone will like double how many kills you get. So I don't want you guys to like miss this. Getting free information is so valuable, and I try and do it all the time. Now let's talk about how you can use this in a more advanced way. You can use slide hopping with pre-aiming to always shoot first when you see an opponent. And let me explain what I mean. So I usually use the slide to cover distance, and then during the jump is when I'll be aiming down sights. And I do this because I don't really like aiming while I'm sliding. I find that it's hard to aim, and you're also kind of like locked into the slide, and you just get like headshot very quickly. As a result, I slide to cover the distance, and then while I'm jumping, I'm covering distance, but I'm also aiming down sights. And I'm doing this even if I don't see anyone. So I'll aim down sights when I'm jumping if I think someone might be near, because if someone does come out, then I'm already scoped in and I'm already accurate. And it seems like a small time difference, but already being aimed down and shooting accurately versus like half a second later is huge. A lot of times if you live like half a second more in a gunfight, you would have won it. So this is incredibly useful. And I call that pre-aiming. So slide hopping lets you move fast and constantly pre-aim while doing it. The last advanced tip takes this like one step further. So sometimes when I see an enemy, while I'm like slide hopping, jump sliding, depending on the feel, I'll stop jumping or sliding and just start walking while shooting. So I'll stop the crazy movement, I'll just start walking to the left and shooting, or walking forward and to the left and shooting. But if I feel like I need more of an advantage, or if this person's already shooting or something like that, like maybe I'm already like half health, When I see the enemy, I'll start shooting, and then when I land, I'll immediately go prone, and I'm shooting through all of this. The reason why when I land, I'll go prone while I'm shooting is because if I keep jumping and sliding, then I can't be fully accurate during the gunfight. It's also pretty unpredictable if you've been just like flying around and sliding, but then suddenly you stop because your enemy might aim where they expect you to have been going. If you start doing this, I'm not kidding, you would probably double or triple your kills if this is something that you aren't doing. To recap, the basic version of this is just sliding and jumping. The second thing to add is this pre-aiming thing while jumping, just meaning as you jump, you're aiming down sights, and then as you start to fall, you let go if you don't see anyone. This keeps you ready, and it always lets you shoot first when you see an enemy. The last thing to add is going prone when you land while shooting. I do this if I see an enemy and I'm like losing the gunfight, or I really need an advantage, or I'm already half health and they start shooting. I will use this as like a safety net maximum effort move I'll pull out when it's needed. Now the next thing I want to cover is jump peeking. This is much more simple, but also super powerful, and if you just add this, you will also be good. Pretty much you run, you jump, and then you aim while you're jumping. You're pretty much unkillable, and you have like a 1 second head start in reaction time. Because I mean, if you think about it from this guy's point of view, you're literally flying in the air and shooting before he can even react. Like from his point of view, he just sees you like 4 feet in the air shooting. By the time he realizes you're doing that, he's already dead. So the advantage you have while doing this is massive, and I almost never die while doing this. As far as specifics on timing, I recommend jumping to where the peak of your jump height will be when you first come past the wall and get into his vision. Because your goal is to be as high in the air as possible when your opponent sees you. So jump a few feet before the wall. I mean, just feel it out, you'll get the vibe. As far as movement input, if the angle, for example, is like to your right, like in this, you would run and sprint while holding the W key, which is a forward key, and then the D key at the same time, which is like the right key. And then when you jump, you can let go of your movement keys altogether because your momentum will just like fly you away. But like as I start to get closer to landing, of course, like I'll click like some WASD to like help me land. But when you jump, you can just let go and you'll go flying. Now, lastly, this is also a simpler thing to implement. I recommend just adding going prone during your gunfights. Like, you don't need to spam it as much as I do. Like, I'm a bit excessive. I recommend just throwing this in whenever because it's unpredictable, and I know it'll feel weird at first because it did for me too. And like, I barely use it in the beginning, but I just like slowly started using it more and started getting more comfortable knowing like the timing of when I could use it. And I found out that you can actually like push it pretty hard to like, even if you're low health and there's 2 people around you, I mean, you can use it, kill both of them, and like slide away. And it's like, it is really useful as just like I need to stay alive. So if you're low HP and you're gonna die anyway, just try it, just use it. I would recommend it. It'll help you learn when you can use it. So overall, there was a lot of stuff in this video. I hope I explained it well. If not, I can make another video going more in detail. And if you want me to do that, feel free to like leave a comment, or if you also have tips, then feel free to also leave a comment. I appreciate your feedback. Trying to make good global anarchy content on YouTube. If you like that, make sure to like and subscribe. I would appreciate that because I love making these videos and I think this is a fire game. So make sure to try these things, let me know how it works, and I'll see you on in the next video. Peace.